To watch the latest from India Science, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press on the bell icon to get notifications on all the science-related videos.
Hello, I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and you're watching SciTech, a show that brings you two exciting and thoroughly researched stories from the world of science and technology. The Earth has a few things in common with Venus, yet the two planets are poles apart. Despite similarities in size and mass, Earth is habitable while Venus is, well, hellish. But many scientists believe Venus was not always like that. So, what caused the planet to change so dramatically? The US and Europe are sending spacecraft towards Venus to find concrete answers. Missions to Venus have been neglected for some time now, but climate change is bringing a renewed focus on our neighboring planet. More in our video.
Though Venus is the second planet from our Sun, it is the hottest in the solar system with temperatures reaching 464 degrees Celsius. Making Venus a furnace is the greenhouse effect. About 96% of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide, a potent heat-trapping gas. At an altitude of 40 to 60 km from the surface are sulfuric acid clouds. On Earth, clouds are primarily water. Our neighbor's atmospheric pressure on the surface of Venus is 90 times that of the Earth's. Though the two planets are widely different, Earth and Venus have similar mass and size. As a result, they are often called twins. Studies suggest that Venus might also have plate tectonics, which on Earth are responsible for quakes, volcanism, and the formation of mountains. Further, some scientists believe our neighbor was a lot like Earth in the past, with oceans and habitable surface temperatures for up to 2 billion years of its early history. And then suddenly, something changed. Oceans began evaporating, becoming water vapor in the atmosphere. Water vapor, as you might know, is a greenhouse gas. It traps heat and increases surface temperature, further inducing oceans to evaporate and release more water vapor as a result. This cycle might have caused Venus to experience a runaway greenhouse effect, thereby suffering a fate different from Earth. Despite the hostile conditions, some speculate that life could have taken off in the clouds of Venus. Bringing the theory back to life was a recent study that detected phosphine in the clouds. On Earth, the chemical can be traced back to biological sources, leading some to believe that the atmosphere of Venus could host life. However, other studies have called these findings into question. NASA is preparing two missions that can settle the debate. It will also answer questions on the planet's history and why it is so different from Earth. NASA's missions to Venus are: an orbiter named Veritas will map the planet's surface. Its job is to confirm whether plate tectonics and volcanism are active on Venus. Da Vinci Plus is a spacecraft that will plunge into Venus's atmosphere and measure the concentration of noble gases and other elements to understand why the atmosphere has a runaway greenhouse effect compared to Earth. In addition, it will test whether the planet ever hosted a liquid ocean. Both of them are expected to launch between 2028 and 2030. Europe will also send an orbiter to Venus sometime in 2030. Named Envision, it will also study our neighbor's history if the planet continues to have active plate tectonics and why climate change altered it. These are not the first missions to Venus. In 1970, the former Soviet Union's Venera 7 became the first spacecraft to soft land on Venus. It stayed active for 23 minutes before the heat could kill it. NASA has had two orbiters around Venus, Pioneer Venus 1 launched in 1978 and Magellan in 1989. The European Space Agency launched Venus Express in 2005 and it operated until 2014. Currently, JAXA's Akotski is in orbit.
Earth is witnessing climate change due to human activities. The concentration of carbon dioxide has reached record levels. The planet is warming, glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising. To avoid slipping into a state of no return, efforts are being made to embrace renewable forms of energy. And one such candidate is green hydrogen. What is green hydrogen? Let us find out.
India ranks third among the world's largest polluters after China and the US. Under the Paris Climate Agreement, 197 countries have pledged to keep temperatures below 2 degrees Celsius by 2100. So phasing out fossil fuel is the need of the hour. Solar, wind and hydropower are some promising sources of renewable energy. India is aiming to build 450 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. As of April 2021, the government has installed 95 gigawatts of renewable energy. To reach its targets, India is eyeing green hydrogen. In February 2021, Indian Oil and Greenstat Hydrogen India, a subsidiary of a Norwegian company, signed a statement of intent for setting up a Center of Excellence for Hydrogen. The initiative will promote research and development projects in green hydrogen. So what is green hydrogen? Why is it called clean energy and how is it produced? Hydrogen has broad applications across various industries. For example, it finds use in oil refining, manufacturing fertilizers like ammonia, and food processing. Hydrogen does not release carbon dioxide when burned, making it an attractive alternative to fossil fuels. But hydrogen does not occur freely in nature, and it needs to be manufactured. It is typically produced using fossil fuel. We call this grey hydrogen. According to the International Energy Agency, it is responsible for about 830 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions per year, equivalent to the combined carbon dioxide emissions of the United Kingdom and Indonesia. India consumes about 6 metric tons of hydrogen every year, and about 100% of it is produced using fossil fuels. Enter green hydrogen. It is clean because it uses renewable electricity to extract hydrogen from water. In an electrolyzer, a strong electric current is passed through a tank of water to split the water molecule into H and O. This is called electrolysis. Now let's look at how green hydrogen can help us. While solar and wind power can provide electricity to homes and recharge electric cars, green hydrogen is more suited for energy-intensive industries like refining, steel, cement, heavy mobility, and industrial heating. Amitabh Kant, Chief Executive Officer of Niti Aayog, wrote in the Mint, "Green hydrogen is not without its share of problems. For example, it is currently expensive to produce, but experts believe the price could go down shortly." The Energy and Resources Institute predicts that by 2050, nearly 80% of India's hydrogen could go green. The research organization also added that prices could fall by over 50% by 2030.
That is all for this episode of SciTech. You can send us your valuable feedback on the email ID flashing on your screen. Also, download India Science app or visit our website www.indiascience.in for more such videos. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles as well. And before signing off, here is Fact of the Day for you. Thanks for watching.
Venus spins backwards. In other words, it rotates in a direction opposite to that of the Earth. So the sun rises in the west and sets in the east.